Hey, Chucktown Homes. I hope training is going well for you guys. Listen, I know that it's overwhelming and it feels like a lot right now, but I promise it all starts coming together. I wanted to show you guys today my favorite lead in our entire system over the last 5 years of me being with Chucktown Homes. This lead is just, I think, the perfect example of how our systems, processes, and the leads work. The right way to handle these leads and how Jared Oliver, our Jacksonville team leader now, who used to be an agent in Greenville, just did the 100% right things with this lead. So, three things that I want you guys to commit to before you accept any lead, right? The first thing that I want you to commit to is that you'll call the lead within 2 minutes or less. I will tell you that our best agents are doing it in 30 seconds. The second thing I want you to commit to is showing a home the same day if requested. And guys, I always put a little asterisk here that says within reason, right? If it's 6 o'clock at night, you take a lead and they want to go see a house in 30 minutes, of course, you're probably not going to be able to make that work. So just within reason. And the third thing that we ask you to do is to diligently follow up with the lead, right? So as long as you commit to those three things, I want you to accept the lead. If you can't commit to those three things, just skip that lead and wait to the next one. I promise you there's plenty more to come. So one of the ways our agents are able to call the leads as fast as they do within 30 seconds is whenever you get a lead notification, a push notification pops up on your phone, and it's through the Follow Up Boss app, and you just swipe right on it and you try to claim the lead. If you're the first one to claim the lead, you get to work it. Now, some of our leads are live connection phone calls that come through those third-party apps like Zillow and OpCity. If you swipe right on that phone call first and pick it up first, congratulations, you get to work that lead. Now, Follow Up Boss just knows that when you accept a lead, that they need to input all this information into your specific Follow Up Boss. So you get the lead's name, which is Ray Ostrowski in this example, phone number, email address, and this is initially going to be the property that they call in on. Jared, who took this lead 4 years ago, Jared went the extra mile and then inputted the wife's name, the wife's phone number, the wife's email address, right? You can see here that the lead source here was OpCity. So if you've never worked with OpCity before, it's one of those live connection phone calls. What happens is Ray Ostrowski went onto Realtor.com and clicked Contact Agent. What Realtor.com was able to do was get Ray on the phone, ask him some pre-qualifying questions, and said, okay, let me get a local professional on the phone for you. They rang out a bunch of agents. Jared was the first one to pick up, and then they started a three-way call. So Jared's on the phone with Ray immediately having a conversation. And then you can see the price point on this one was 1.089 million. Let me pause right here, guys. Not all of our leads are $1 million leads. I wish they were, but they're not. I would show you guys this lead even if it was a $100,000 lead, because I just think it's the 100% right way to handle leads inside of our system. Jared just did everything right here, and you'll see why I say that here in a few minutes. Now, you guys already know this, but you get a Follow Up Boss phone number. So all your phone calls and text messages happen in this system, and Follow Up Boss just knows to put all that information right here. It also syncs directly to our Gmail accounts, so if Ray Ostrowski ever emails Jared, it's going to pull over into this system here. It's another great reason to be checking your Follow Up Boss inbox multiple times a day, because with the amount of leads that we receive as a team, it sometimes can get overwhelming and you do miss those inbox notifications. So add into your daily workflow to check this 3 to 4 times a day to make sure you're not missing anything. Now, guys, I promise you we're not going to go every piece of conversation here because that would take far longer than the 10-15 minutes I want to spend. But I'm going to go over like the first tenth of it to really show you what it took for Jared to convert this lead. Now, what I want you guys to think as I do some of these things is I want you to think as the average buyer who has no real estate experience. I want you to think as the average buyer's agent who only converts 1 in 100 internet leads, right? That's the national average. Chucktown Homes agents on average convert these right around 10 to 18% depending on the lead source, right? So as we go through these, I'm going to show you some things that you should absolutely implement into your business today. I'm going to show you what Jared did to go above and beyond and really serve this client well. And let's just dive into it. So, guys, I want you to think as the average buyer with zero real estate experience. You go on Zillow or Realtor.com and you click Contact Agent. When you click Contact Agent, your phone starts ringing within 30 seconds. As the average consumer with zero real estate experience, think to yourself, like, what are you thinking when your phone rings within 30 seconds? What I'm thinking is like scam, call center, I'm going to get taken advantage of, salesman, right? That's the uniquely challenging thing about Chucktown Homes, right? So you have to be able to break through that and provide value. Now, I want you to imagine to yourself, who do you think you're calling? As the average buyer with zero real estate experience, if you click Contact Agent, who do you think you're calling? Most agents would answer, they think they're calling the listing agent. You guys are going to watch some training about how to handle those objections later. The I have an agent, or are you the listing agent? We're going to work through all those objection handlers later. But guys, let me set a good expectation with you. Objection handlers do not work 100% of the time, right? Remember, we only convert 10% of our leads, right? So one of my natural character flaws is I'm a pessimist, and I don't love that about myself, but it's just what it is. I have to work through it, right? When somebody says 10% to me, that means 9 people say no and 1 person says yes. So do objection handlers always work? Of course not, guys. But do they work some of the time? Absolutely. So in this case, Ray is just a really old school savvy buyer who really just wanted to speak to the listing agent. So when Jared got on the phone with Ray, Ray said, "Hey, are you the listing agent?" Jared used his objection handlers the best he could, and Ray just kind of painted Jared into a corner. And Ray said, "Listen, man, if you're not the listing agent, leave me alone," and actually hung up on Jared, right? Now, I want you to think to yourself, guys, as the average buyer's agent in America who only converts 1 in 100 leads, you're not the listing agent and you just got hung up on. What is the average agent doing? I would tell you that the average agent is moving on. They don't need me. I don't need them. On to the next, right? But not Jared. Jared jumped right back in. "Hey, Ray, Jared here. We just spoke on the phone. I understand if I wasn't exactly who you're getting in touch with. However, I'm still capable of assisting you with your search, and I'm available to show you homes today." Remember one of those 3 things. If you aren't able to get a hold of anybody in the Cliffs is a really fancy subdivision out here in the upstate of South Carolina. Tiger Woods has a house up there. Oprah Winfrey has a house up there. Like, really, really nice neighborhood. Especially during Labor Day, let me know and I'd be happy to help. Ray texted back and said, "Thanks, but I spoke with the listing agent and the house is sold." Guys, was the house really sold? No, of course not. When you go on Zillow and Realtor.com and that pretty house shows pending or contingent, it's not really sold. It's just under contract, right? Right now, 1 in 5 houses are falling out of contract. So it still benefits us and our clients to be proactive in following up with them. Jared responded, "Gotcha, I saw that as well, but no worries. It's actually still contingent upon inspections. So in the event the inspections don't meet the buyer's expectations, would you like me to update you?" Ray shoots back a one-liner and says, "Sure." Guys, you can almost hear how skeptical Ray is of us. And the reason why I think Ray is so skeptical of us is because I guarantee you this isn't the first home that Ray has called about. He's an active buyer. He's actively shopping. So he's probably talked to 4 or 5 or 6 different real estate agents, all of them who are the average agent who only convert 1 in 100 leads, right? All of them have said, "Hey, if anything changes, I'll let you know." But they don't have an amazing system like Follow Up Boss to keep them accountable to following up with their leads. So Ray has probably never heard back from any of those agents. One thing I want you to implement into your business today, guys, is that we always respond to the clients last. It would have been very easy for Jared just to leave this around. He said, "Sure, great, I'll do that," right? But we never leave our clients left on red. We're always going to respond to them. And here's why we do that, guys. We always want them to know that we've seen their communication, we've heard their request, we're acknowledging it, and we're going to reconfirm with them that's exactly what we're going to do. So Jared jumped right in. Great. I'll keep an eye out. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, nice meeting you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Right? So your team leader's job every single day, Monday through Sunday, is to go back and look at yesterday's leads to make sure everything is going smoothly. You're going to see your team leaders jump into Follow Up Boss often to provide you coaching notes, tips, and tricks on how to better serve leads. Now, guys, I want you to hear me when I say this. They're not mad at you. They're genuinely trying to provide you coaching and training to help you convert the leads at a higher level. We're going to put you in business with a lot of people, and sometimes it's just helpful to have a seasoned eye look at things from a different perspective so you can help. Because I'm confident Jared was going to do this, and I also want to make sure I'm providing Jared value. So the next day I saw this, I said, Jared, great job on this. Maybe follow up with some market stats on the cliffs, average days on market, average list of sales price. We can even send him info on club membership and dues. Keep crushing it, right? What did Jared do the very next morning? Good morning, Ray. Hope you're having a great day. Did a little bit of research after our phone call and gathered a few pieces of info that you might find interesting during your search. I've attached the sold statistics for all homes sold in the Cliffs for the past few months, which might give you a little insight into how to better approach purchasing the home. I also attached the Cliffs membership packet I had on file in case you didn't have one yourself. Let me know if there's anything else you might be interested in. Boy, Jared, what a great idea he had, right? Jared just implemented. He jumped right in and provided the valuable information, right? Here's the thing I love about Follow Up Boss. I can see that Ray opened this email 3 times. But here's the important thing, guys. Ray didn't respond to this email. So I want you to think of yourself as the average buyer's agent now, the ones who only convert 1 in 100 leads. You're not the listing agent. You got hung up on. The last text message you got from this guy was a 1-word answer that said sure. You send a value-driven email that you can see he opened 3 times, but he didn't respond. What is the average agent thinking now? He's not interested. He's ghosting me. On to the next, right? Most agents would give up here, but not Jared. Jared jumped right back in. The nice thing about Follow Up Boss, guys, is it acts as a timer. We tell Follow Up Boss how often we want to follow up with a lead, and Follow Up Boss reminds us to do it. So on September 13th, that's exactly what happened. Follow Up Boss said, hey, Jared, get back to work. Let's reach out to Ray. And that's what Jared did. So Jared sent a text, good morning, Ray. Just an update. I've reached out for info on 25 Standing Rock, but unfortunately, the listing agent's been out of the office since Friday, so I got a hold of an assistant, and I'm waiting to hear back. In the meantime, I found this property in nearby Cliffs Valley community, which was listed 6 days ago. Would this be something you're interested in? Sends them a Zillow link. Now, guys, I'm going to pause right here for a second. I teach an internet class in a bunch of different market centers in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. I've taught this class probably over 50, 60 times, and I always show this example. When I show people that Jared sends him a Zillow link, I see agents like physically cringe, like, oh, why would he send him a Zillow link? And here's my answer to that, guys. My wife lays in bed every night with a top 1% realtor in the nation. I have the privilege of leading you guys, a group of amazing agents, the number 3 team in Keller Williams as of April 2025. I'm licensed in 2 states. I'm a member of 4 MLSs. I've sold hundreds of houses. When my wife sees a cute house online or on Facebook or whatever, she doesn't go to chucktownhomes.com and send me a Chucktown link. I wish she would, but she doesn't. She doesn't go onto the Chucktown Homes app, which you'll learn about, and send me links through there. Right? She doesn't go on kellerwilliams.com and look up the house and send it to me there. No, guys, what does she do? My own wife, she can reach over and touch me, smack me in the back of the head. My own wife sends me Zillow links, right? And here's why, guys. When you think of tennis shoes, who do you think of? Most people would say Nike or Adidas, right? When you think of cell phones, who do you think of? Most people would say Verizon or Apple or whatever the case is. When you think about searching for homes online, who do you think of? Most people are going to say Zillow. I wish they would think of Chucktown, but simply they're going to think of Zillow because Zillow has built a better mousetrap. They have bigger marketing dollars. and they're just the most recognized name in real estate. So we're going to use the company that we partner with at a really high level to facilitate what we need the clients to interact with, right? So I understand why solo agents don't love doing this, because they're afraid of the contact agent button on the right hand side. We have some cool back end deals with Zillow, so they just see our big, beautiful faces for the next 6 months. But I understand why solo agents don't want to do this. But Jared sends a Zillow link. Now, here's the next important thing, guys. He doesn't respond to this text message. So Jared is not the listing agent. He gets hung up on. The last text we get is a one-liner that says sure. Jared sends a value-driven email that I can see he opened 3 times, sends a value-driven text message with a beautiful property, but doesn't get a response. Guys, the average agent is giving up. Can we all agree? Right? So Jared then calls Ray on September 14th. He jumps right back in. He's not going to give up. I'm going to play the first few seconds of this and hopefully it picks up. But I want you to hear what Ray says in the very first few seconds here. Hopefully you could hear that, but you can hear the skepticism in Ray's voice. Like, fine, what's up? Dude, why are you still calling me? If you listen to this full 8-minute conversation, Ray just says to Jared, listen, man, let me tell you exactly what I'm looking for. Jared comes in here and takes great notes. Guys, this is so important for you to do because when you're working with 40, 50, or 60 clients, you're not going to be able to remember everything. So utilize the notes section of Follow Up Boss. So Jared jumps in and says, doesn't want a subdivision, wants acreage, prefers a farm, 3,500 square foot house on paved road, doesn't want to be on a highway, has dogs, so land is important to him, has to be upgraded, right? He takes all the notes. Now, guys, think of yourself as the average agent again. The average agent gets the entire wish list from their buyers. What does the average agent do? They set some up on a automated MLS search, right? Agents seem to be very proud of these automated MLS search. Guys, that takes away from the personality, the personal touch that we need for our clients. It's our job to take this from transactional and make it relational. Automated searches, guys, makes it feel transactional, right? And then most average agents will say, hey, I just set you up on a search. Let me know if you see anything. Guys, that's our job. It's our job to let them know if we see anything. I show everybody this next email because I think it's one of the most value-driven emails I've seen an agent send to a prospective buyer. Jared did go on the MLS. He found all these properties that hit this guy's criteria, and then he sends them this email. What Jared did was he found those properties that were a good fit. He found the Zillow hyperlink and attached them to the email, and then he summarized why he thought each house was a good fit for Ray. Guys, I promise you, the average agent is not doing this, right? Here's what's important about this email too, and I think this is really interesting fact. Each one of these properties at the time that Jared sent them to Ray had 60 days or more on the market. Here's why that's important. Ray is actively looking at real estate online. He has probably even seen or browsed over some of these houses. But simply because they weren't presented to him in the correct manner, he likely overlooked them. Here's the important thing, guys. Ray opened this email 17 times and he clicked on the link 10 times. Guys, at Chucktown Homes, we call that a buying signal. That's that guy raising his hand, right? Here's where it gets interesting. Ray calls Jared 1 hour, 2 hours, after receiving this email. All that follow-up attempt, all that effort, Ray finally calls back Jared. Long story short, Ray says to Jared, hey man, get me every piece of information you can on 135 Younger Farm Road. Done. I'll have all that other info over to you shortly. Attaches the seller's disclosure, aerial photos, and a survey and a floor plan. I've also included the entire MLS info packet as well as the tax information. Here's a picture of the property lines that I couldn't add as an attachment, so I had to paste it into an email. I have printouts of all these documents and we'll have them with me tomorrow. Long story short, guys, Jared goes out to this property, shows Ray a 56-acre horse farm in Campobello, South Carolina, negotiates $100,000 off the purchase price, and gets a $1.1 million home under contract and closes it. And this is the very first lead that Jared closed with Chucktown Homes. Not too shabby, right? So some things that I wanted you to see in this is the effort that it took, the numerous contact attempts, the upfront effort it took to go under contract on this house. The second thing that I wanted you to see is something that you actually didn't see at all. Guys, take out of your vocabulary today the phrases, hey, I'm just checking in with you. Hey, I'm just following up with you. Neither of those provide any value. Every time Jared was reaching out, he provided an item of value, whether it was the membership dues and the recently sold homes in the neighborhood, or a Zillow link with another property, or that well thought out email with 5 other properties summarizing why each one was a good fit. Every time Jared reached out, he was providing some sort of value, an item of value. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. This is just the perfect example of how leads work in our system. And I think Jared did an incredible job on this. Guys, thank you so much for being part of our team. Thank you for all of the training and attention that you're going to be doing these next few days. I know it's a lot, but guys, if you put forward this same kind of effort that Jared did with every single one of your leads, you are going to be very, very successful. I'm proud of you guys, and thank you so much. Talk to y'all soon.